In this video, I'm going to give you my 10 best listing lead sources for getting easy listings. Now, most listing strategies don't work because they're just too competitive. You're competing with top agents with more credibility, better sales skills, and more confidence. Now, we've tried out dozens and dozens of different strategies, and these are the best strategies that we've used that actually work without having to do big, fancy, complicated objection handling or being really pushy. Hi, I'm Charles Curry with Smart Agents, and we help agents get more listings with powerful listing strategies that actually work. So here are my 10 best listing lead sources. Number 10. Pre-foreclosures. A lot of these sellers' backs are against the wall, and once the foreclosure auction date is scheduled, they are super motivated because they want to sell that house before the bank forecloses on their house. So here's an insider tip. Target your marketing towards people who have an auction date scheduled because they are the absolutely most motivated people out there. And don't think that the good economy means that there are no foreclosures. There are always foreclosures in both good and bad economies. And because most agents think that there are no foreclosures today, that means you're going to have even less competition. All right, let's talk about number 9, everybody's favorite, FSBOs. Now, I actually love FSBOs because you have a little bit of time to build a relationship with the seller. If you take the long game and you offer to help the FSBO, then you can stand out from everyone else and easily win the listing. Does that make sense? Now let's talk about number 8. Your neighborhood. You should be farming your neighborhood. Or if you don't want to do that, and a lot of people don't want to do that, then at least work the listing leads in your neighborhood. And I'm talking about vacant homes, vacant lots, and vacant land in your neighborhood. If you live in a rural area, there's always going to be some vacant land available to get sold. Now, these listings are actually pretty easy to get, and you can use them to get signs up in your neighborhood and then build your brand and credibility there. Now, this will be easier for you to dominate your neighborhood. Now, number 7, expireds and withdrawns. These are great, and you can win the listing if you decide to master these and give yourself every advantage possible. And here's what I mean by that. We've identified about 5 different ways that you can stand out from the crowd to win expired and withdrawn listings. And I'll break down those strategies in another video. Now, here's an insider tip for expireds. Go after the old expireds. Look at homes that have expired 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, even 5 and 6 years ago. You see, many of those sellers actually still want to sell and will put their home on the market today if you reach out to them. Does that make sense? All right, great. Now let's talk about number 6, people who are behind on their property taxes. Now, this is a big niche, and you can get the leads from your local tax assessor's office. Just contact their office and ask them for the leads. Then you're going to go in and start contacting the sellers and show them that you can help them pay off their tax debt and put some money in their pocket. Now, most of these sellers don't even live in the house, so that they're easy to list. Number 5 is evictions. A lot of small-time landlords, they might just own 1 or 2 rental homes, and when they get burned by a bad tenant, they often give up on being a landlord, and they simply decide they're going to sell their rental home instead of renting it out again. And these are great listing opportunities for you because much of the time they have plenty of equity and they're very, very motivated. And you can get those eviction leads also from your local courthouse. Then reach out to them and see if they're interested in selling. All right, let's talk about number 4, divorces. Now, I will admit this is a little bit of a controversial listing niche, but it's actually okay because these sellers really need your help. 61% of divorces end up selling their home after the divorce. So this is a huge evergreen listings niche that is gonna be around forever because people are always going to get divorced. And the kicker is they can't hire somebody that they know because that person might be biased to one spouse or the other. So even better, one listing will even often turn into 2 or 3 sales, because a lot of times the sellers will then use you to buy their next house. Maybe they get a divorce, the husband buys another house, and the wife buys another house. Now, again, I got a special insider tip for you, and that is to build relationships with divorce attorneys so that you can actually get listings in your sleep. If you build relationships with a few different divorce attorneys, you can get a consistent stream of divorce listing referrals. All right, number 3 is vacant land and vacant lots. Now, these list super fast. Many of these sellers are out of town, so they don't know anyone in their area, and they're actually pretty easy to sell. The closings are super easy because there aren't a million inspections and a million repairs that have to be done. And even though the commissions are a little bit smaller, this is a great way to put your signs up all over town, build a brand for yourself, and dominate your market. All right, number 2, inherited homes. And again, this one is a little bit controversial, but it's a good niche, and it's a totally okay niche to go after because you're saving these people from greedy investors who want to flip their house for a quick profit. Now, you can find these leads by looking up obituaries, but you should go back at least 3 months so that you're contacting people after the emotions have worn off and you're not hitting them at a hard time, okay? Now, again, I got a special insider tip for you. Build relationships with probate attorneys. And again, that's going to let you get listings in your sleep. So that's how you build a consistent stream of inherited listing referrals. Let's talk about number 1, my favorite listing source, and that is vacant homes. Now, there are thousands of these in every market, and many of the sellers are out of town, so you have almost no competition at all. Now, about 20% of them are actually interested in selling, so you can get a lot of listings and build up your brand in your market. And those are my all-around favorite listing lead sources. I recommend picking one lead source and mastering it. As the old saying goes, the person who chases 2 rabbits catches none. And when you focus on something, you're a lot more likely to win. And once you master one of those lead sources, then you can master another one, and you can start stacking them on top of each other. So at first, you might be getting an extra 1 to 2 listings a month from one lead source, and that's not bad at all. Then it's 3 to 4 listings a month from 2 lead sources. Then it's 5 to 6 listings a month from 3 lead sources. And that's how you take over in your market and absolutely dominate. So pick one lead source today and get started. And if you would like specific information on how to get listings in each of these niches, then make sure you subscribe to my channel, because I'm going to be breaking down the strategies for each of these niches in future videos.